and the sex was
Okay, thank you. Next weekend, Sex and the City. Assistant directed by our lovely Liz.
And that's it.
Okay, enjoy the show. Yeah, we have lights today. Yeah, it's time.
Oh, shit.
Fucking lights.
Like she figured out the right box.
They say that managing a summer camp is like being vaguely in charge of 30,000 shrieking crows that want nothing more than to shriek and fly about. Well, maybe they don't say that. Maybe that's just something I say. I was never a mother, and I couldn't have been, but it's raining outside, and I know my kids are tucked away. The youngest one's begging to go home, the oldest pretending that they've never been afraid in their whole lives. I flip my pen and try to time into the peals of thunder. Outside, the storm presses against the windows and begs to be let in. Outside, my ex-husband, husband for 26 years, ex for 4, begs to be let in too. He's quiet, but just as I know the kids are tucked away, shivering at the burst of lightning across our dark southern sky, I know that he is settled to be away, leans up against my cabin door with his head in his hands, rain-soaked. And he knows I know. I know he knows I know. And as the thunder shakes the walls of my tiny cabin, as the clicks of my pen become offbeat and frantic, I remember the day that we were wet. It had rained the night before, not a storm like this, but a small shower. It was enough. My heel broke in the mud on the way down the aisle, and I should have known right then. He was waiting for me there, my Rory, at the altar, and I held up my muddy, broken heel with one hand, and he turned to look at me, and we laughed and laughed in front of everyone, just us. I should have known, right there. It was easy to love him, and even easier to hate him. Sometimes, even now, I will remember how things used to be. A kiss when I get home and he smells of pine needles. My dearest, loveliest friend, my most terrible, mortal enemy, and he knows me in every way that there is to know me, and so the blows are perfectly calculated, flawlessly executed. Pillows that his mother gifted us scattered across the couch that we bought together before we could afford it. The same old fight had while we stand across from each other on opposite sides of the kitchen table, stalemate. The day we divorced, he signed the papers with the same pen we stole from that Chinese place down the block from our old apartment. My Rory looked up at me over the contract with those eyes, and I felt 26 whole years crack right down the middle. They say that marriage is like a conversation that always feels too long, like a leaky lifeboat, like everything I've ever known and everything I've ever wanted. Or maybe they don't. Maybe I just do. I was never a mother, and I couldn't have been. But 4 years ago, during the worst storm we'd ever seen, and little Sandy Joe went missing, well, I called my husband. I called my husband over and over and over again. Sure, I called everyone there was to call, but my husband knows these woods better than any officer, and I knew he'd know how to get little Sandy Joe back to me, back to her mother. But I also know my husband doesn't believe in phones or technology or anything of that sort. No, he believes in the wild sweep of the wilderness, unwashed hair, the smell of pine needles on a forest floor, and the clothes on his back. Standing across the kitchen table, we'd yell about these same things, but now, surely now, he would answer. Surely now, he would come. He didn't. And they never found tiny little Sandy Joe with her little blonde pigtails and her little button nose. I served him the papers the very next day. For years, the camp's door was sealed shut, and now we're back, caught in the same storm, and I was never a mother. I couldn't have been. But the rain is pressing harder now, persistent and insistent, and just outside he begins to knock his fist against the door, a heartbeat. Maybe it's evil and horrible and wrong of me that I let him work here every summer, let him live on the outskirts of my camp, hiking my trails and tending to my kids still, when I know that I hate him and I know that I love him. Or maybe he's a fucking idiot making those goddamn shelters a stone's throw away from camp, pretending alongside the children that they're somewhere dangerous, and maybe they are. Maybe I'm pretending something too, and it is evil and horrible and wrong that I let him stay out there to weather the storm alone, knowing what I know, knowing this, that inside my shaking cabin, I rolled a pen between my forefinger and my thumb, the same pen we stole. And then I guess I stole it again from him when he left it on the stack of papers that day in the lawyer's office. Doubly owned, doubly taken. Another crackle thunder, this time so wide that even I jumped. And then, I'm walking across the room to the door like a bride down the aisle. And then, I do what I did every day for 26 years, what I do every time. I open the door.
I was raised in snow, 48 minutes southeast of Modesto, skin crimping in the hot California desert. And when my mom left cigarette butts on the plastic grass ground outside the trailer, the dusty haze felt twice as thick. And I wore my cousin's old tennis shoes to keep my feet from frying on the concrete and sitting at. In the summer, we had lemonade with an edge on it, making 2 sweet mixed in the same pitcher of Mama's peach moonshine, handle broken off when I dropped the thing as a top. It was nice to sit outside and listen to the revving motors on the highway and imagine life in a town 20 miles away. Mama said it would be the same, and I said it would be priceless and beautiful and nothing at all like the life we lived itself. She passed when I was 14, so I lived on my own to pull out a couch, got myself a hardship license, packed my own lunches from then on because Aunt Mabel worked nights at the hospital at Mercer. We made do, and there was a certain distinction in graduating, and in the way Aunt Mabel said my mother would be proud. I think I could have stayed in that trailer, and I think I would have been happy about it. I would take care of Aunt Mabel when she got old, cook eggs for dinner, reupholster the couch, be promoted as manager at the charcoaler, get my own car, drive 20 miles south, come back to Stelling and be satisfied. I was content enough to be my mother's son and to finish the life she had started. But I didn't. You know what it's like to be consumed. I was 19, got off my line shift late, the restaurant closed the restaurant on my own, cleared my locker to walk home, and I thought, this isn't my life. This is not my life. I walked back to the trailer, and it wasn't so far, but it gave me time to think. I recognized that I'm impulsive, and Lord knows I make mistakes, but it didn't feel like one when I left money in a note on Aunt Mabel's bed saying I'd be back in 3 weeks. And I just started walking along the highway for a while, then the fall passed, and it was dark out, and I could feel the pinpricks of mosquitoes, see fast cars whip around blind turns, hear the blue cry of bobcats, and I felt like a stupid thing. But I also wondered what it would be like to be truly alive. I camped 18 days in those mountains, electric full healing, waiting out the darkest rainstorm, braving hail and windy awakenings, traversing the canyon and lighting fires in the skin between my fingertips and the base of my palm, trying to put a name to this desire. For the first time in my life, I knew what I wanted. A discomfort so bitter it felt like suffocating. A cipher so simple I've been overthinking it this whole life. Aunt Mabel called me crazy, and I know it was crazy, but I needed more. I took a job as a rafting guide on the Salmon River, worked ski patrol in the winter, and in the spring I would hike into nothingness, relishing the bruised skin and blisters and cold, rattling bones. I bought myself a rifle for hunting, built my own shelters, learned to walk lightly, barefoot on dense pine needles, and I called myself wild. I met Marty halfway down the highway between Man and Beast. She wasn't ragged like I was, but she looked at me in my ripped jeans with a knowing like I had never been known. And it struck me that she might fuel the fire in my bones instead of wanting to put it out like everyone I'd ever met. She wanted to open a summer camp to be the sort of mother to those kids that her mother had been to her, and I wanted to be her man and show her the way of things in the world that was real. We got married when we were 23, and she believed in Jesus and family and good home cooking and in the way kids look up at you after you place a Band-Aid tenderly over a bleeding wound. I believed in the woods and in being alone and drinking from the source and that phones make you soft and that kids should grow up quick, and I believed in her. I know she trusted me, and I know I'll always let her down. It's a north so true I'll know it like I know Aunt Mabel's happy in heaven. And I come into this door every day, not because I regret what happened, and not because I feel guilty. I'm no saint. I was caught in a storm as big as this whole life, and I wanted to live. I know that there's an uncurable evil in me. But when the rain comes, I know Marty's pacing, clicking that pen of hers, hating me. I knock on the door, craving bitter discomfort, and the knowing we are useless to each other. And that 2 halves don't make a whole, but at least I can make her feel a little less alone.
There's this specific date coming up, Labor Day?
Now that's next month, don't sweat.
Yeah, right, yeah, Labor Day. Well, hey, I was thinking, did you want to, like, make plans or anything like that? Look, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't pay attention to dates. Hey, look at me. Look at me. I don't pay attention to dates, babe. It's not about dates. They don't matter. The only thing that really matters, all I know, is right here. This feeling, us. You can't put that shit on a calendar. You need it.
You know what they don't tell you about working at a camp is that middle schoolers can smell your fear. Nah, I'm just kidding. I love the kiddos. They look up to me, so I gotta be a hero. I gotta impress them. I gotta be the cool, suave kind of counselor that they'll wanna, I don't know, smoke weed with in college somewhere further down the line. Not that I was ever really invited to do that much in high school. Not that the kids really like to do that much anyway, but, next week's kind of busy. I'm meeting up with Reagan next week because that's the day that we started being friends and working together. It means a lot to me, but it's dumb because that's all that is, really. That's all that it is. I know the kiddos say what they want, and Marnie's always giving us looks when we have shits together, but it really is just that special to me. And I want to impress. Reagan's so cool, and sometimes she's the only thing in these woods that remind me that I can be cool. Like, the only thing, but I want to make sure she knows how much I care about our friendship. So no matter what anyone says, I'm going to plan out something nice for us to do together. I need to find a nice area we'll know and we'll wander in, because, we're such close friends. That's it. Nothing shady about it, really. I'm just doing our job.
I really only took this job because the woods are the perfect place to smoke weed. I mean, chill. Sorry. I clearly don't do it for the pay. It's not nearly enough for the shit these kids put us through day after day, but I love it deep down. Love it even more when we get the chance to creep away from it all. Sneak across the campground, feet crunching the leaves, hidden by the branches in the shade under the canopy of the trees where we can be still, where we can just be. Anyways, I'm not about the labels, love affairs. I just want to be with them, feel the moment. When our fingers brush, I can finally forget about all the rest of it. Pressure built and released in just seconds. Free from society's expectations as I wait on the precipice of a possible friendship, a great, great friendship, a very, very close friendship. Anyway, look, I'm not a lesbian. I mean, I'm fine. It's just not me, okay? And then, let's just say I go along with it, play the game. 10 to 15 years down the line, we'll become a small suburban home, a slight gray colonial, split the mortgage, buy insurance, start a family, 1 boy, 2 girls, of course. Close in age, so it's easier we can retire early. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, not even be nice, we dream, we celebrate. But that's not me, okay? It's not. And it's not like I've really given it any thought either. Not really. Because it's not like it really actually matters to me. It's not worth considering something that can never exist. Foolish, entertaining such fleeting possibilities. So I'll keep avoiding it, pushing it down to the depths of my fragmented heart and get over it. Besides, it's not like Camp Rock. Friendships ever last forever, right?
I'm cool. I'm gonna be so cool that these campers will remember me forever. Reagan too. Like the kind of remembering where you know each other's voices even through the sound of a million rustling leaves, where you know each other blind, where you wouldn't need to ask each other's names even if you forgot everything wrong. Like how best friends do. I'll show them. Those kids will see. They have to. They have to. They already do. That's why there's all that fan art of me on the bathroom walls in Sharpie that also has all those darts and stuff in it. Sometimes I wonder if I look like the little Sharpie doodle wandering around like, sweet, sweet, rise and shine everybody, and everyone's like, Quinn, you're such a fucking loser. Anyway, when I get worried like that, Reagan's always there to cheer me up like a true partner, work partner that is. She's all of my happiness, all of it. She's the bread of my brother, the moon to my sun, the key to my heart. I mean, some of the kiddos say she's the blue hair to my pronouns, but I'm not really sure what that is. Even if the kids are mean, Reagan's great. Even when she takes too long to text me back, there's no way going to the bathroom takes a whole 5 minutes, right? Anyway, even then, she's everything to me. That's why I've got to make this count. I've got to do it right. No matter how much I hate my job, if I hate this job, Reagan would never hate me, and I don't know what she'd do if she hated me.
I kind of hate them. I know I shouldn't, but the incessant caring, I'm not used to it. I can't do it. They're always fretting, and I can't handle it. I've had enough of it. I'm through, fed up, I'm done, terrified that I might be the one. And I wonder, if I took a moment and let my emotions wander a bit, I'd come to the realization that I just might love them. Camp, being a counselor, just the woods and the quiet of this nature. When I walk far enough down this dusty dirt trail to lose myself, get far enough away to finally be someone else, escape, no, I can't fall in love again. Not after last summer. If I don't keep my guard up, I may end up slipping. I can't risk it, okay? no big deal, man. It's just like, I don't do labels or some shit like that. Still, I wonder, but I remember the last time. And no, I can't put my walls down. No, I can't ever forget.
What if I forget something? What if I let down my best friend because of my shitty self-esteem? What if she looks at me, looks deep into my eyes, and breaks through her super coolness for a second like nothing else mattered in the world when she sees me? Like we were alone for once in these huge woods, and all she sees are Sharpie doodles! I can't let that be me, she'd hate me! That is not the cool weed smoking vibe that I'm going for! But I just don't know what to do for our friendship anniversary. I shouldn't even be this mad at the kids, but they drew me as a skibbity toilet in the bathroom, and maybe that's a sign that everything I'm gonna do is just gonna come to shit. But you know what? I'm a good partner, work partner. When Megan looks back at me again from under that a weird baseball cap, she's not gonna see Sharpie doodles. Because you know, I never really wanted this job, and this camp seriously freaks me out because a kid fucking died here once, but it's not gonna get in the way of a nice feeling. Which is me. No dead kid ghosts are gonna fucking ruin that. The day's gonna be great. I'm gonna surprise her with how freaking cool it turns out. Because I can be cool. I can be cool. Because if there's anything I can be a little more confident in myself for, it's her. Because if she can be real in these woods where no one ever really says anything to your face, then I can be something bigger too. And maybe I can remember how cool I am without asking her to remind me. I'm gonna go talk to her about it.
I am sick of all the talking. All Quinn wants to do is talk every fucking second. I can't keep doing it. Because the more we talk, the closer we get, the bigger the fall, the deeper the hurt. They don't realize, can't they see it? I mean, I see things. Notice all the changes swirling rapidly around me. Like when the August sun scorches the earth, warm breeze rustles the lush green trees. When the little kid slipped away and I rushed to leave. I didn't even tell Quinn. I don't know why. I mean, I wanted to. I just didn't know how, so I didn't. I should have. After all, when I met them, it changed things, changed me, but not enough to let them know how I really feel. Yeah, I know what they're talking about. I know the date they're referring to, but I can't let them know it. I can't let them know just how much I'm into them. If I let them in, tell them how I feel, I might as well be writing it in permanent marker. Scrawled against the bathroom stalls for all of camp, all the world to see. Might as well take a blade and carve Q&R and arrow mark. I'm sure. So instead, I seal my lips, take on this sullen expression. Fewer match with this interest, doubt covered by this suave facade. Yeah, I know I'm cool as fuck, like, sounds like you're clearing. But still, sometimes I wonder. But, I mean, I don't know, man. It's chill. It's all cool. Like, nothing really matters, right?
Hey, so those plans for Bookmore?
What?
I was thinking if it would be cool when I'll go on a walk or something.
Babe, I told you. Labor Day is next month.
Hi, I'm Dolly. Dolly Johnson. My pronouns are she, they. And I'm 15 years old. I'm really excited about the campfire night because I love to sing and make s'mores. I really like s'mores. I'm too fucking old to be here. Listen, I've been coming to this camp for 8 goddamn years. 8! And I've seen things during my time. Things that no kid should see. You know, a kid goes missing here every year. Nobody knows why. I think that's fucked up. I look around at all these goddamn pine trees and their sticky needles that get wedged into the bottom of my fucking shoes every day. These stupid tents dripping with mold and dirty socks. I look at it all and I see a place that should just be fucking condemned. It's disgusting. This camp and these counselors who come in every year expecting a paycheck that's fat enough to cover their vape expenses and their condoms and whatever else normal teens do. I wouldn't know. I'm stuck here with the tents
needles and the dirty fucking socks. And the only saving grace, the only thing that gets me through these mosquito-infested nights, are s'mores. Now there's not even gonna be fucking s'mores because that bitch decided to get lost right in the middle of our campfire bonding jam sesh. You know, my mom doesn't think I'm old enough to be a counselor yet. But I swear I could run circles around these flabbergasted fat fucks. They're new. See, they're new and naive, and I'm a goddamn vet. When a kid goes missing, they freak the fuck out like they've never seen the back of a milk box before. Or those commercials, you know, the ones that go, it's 10 p.m., do you know where your children are? Like they haven't stayed up past their bedtimes before. Give me a break. I might not have a paycheck, but I stay up past my bedtime, okay? Just some jokes on my mom, though. We don't really have the best relationship, Mom and I, you know. I love my mom, you know, but sometimes I don't really think she loves me. It's hard to explain, you know, it's sometimes harder to talk about, but she's just from a different generation. At least that's what my best friend says. Her name's Julie. She looks like a jewel too. And she's pretty much the only person that I can talk to when I'm at home. I can't have my phone here, so I have this notebook with all of the things that I wish I could text her. See, I even timestamp them. Mom doesn't like Julie. She thinks my relationship with her is inappropriate. She thinks that I should be spending more time with boys than with Julie, but she just doesn't get it. You know, boys are weird. They're gross, and they don't like to make s'mores by the campfire or smoke fake cigarettes with me. And boys smell. They're just so sweaty. They're so sweaty all the time, and they have facial hair that like only grows on one half of their face, like their main and they're just so annoying. Whatever. Julie's not annoying. Julie smells like lavender and cookies because she always makes me cookies. She bakes s'mores flavored cookies for me because they're my favorite, and Julie pays attention to those sorts of things. She always pays attention to me. Julie and I really wanted to go to theater camp together this summer, but Mom didn't let me. She told me that if I come back here for the 8th fucking time, that next year I'd finally be old enough to be a counselor, and because I come every year and because I'm just sweet old Dolly Johnson, that they'd have to hire me. They would have to get me out of the house all summer, every summer, away from her and Dad and Julie. I just wish I was at theater camp with Julie, making s'mores and singing so horribly that we make our counselors' ears bleed, laughing about stupid jokes that nobody else seems to find funny but us. Maybe talking to boys. But only as long as they don't smell like sweat and regret. I want a boy who smells like lavender. That probably doesn't exist. So maybe next year Julie's mom will let her work here too. I mean, we'd be great counselors. I bet you we'd never lose a kid. And we'd make s'mores together every night under the stars. Maybe next year.
Her great-grandmother, a favorite flower, and the love for a certain letter above all others. I was born in the age of the summer, in the haze, among the heat, fly, marching blue. There was seared meat and the perspiration of clinking bottles and crackling campfires. Camp is like its own summer bird. I'm quiet. I was quiet when I was poor. I've always been a good kid. I don't speak out of turn without instruction. I don't eat more than my usual bites, even though I should. Even though I learned that crippling indecision unmoored by gastrointestinal repercussions are taken less seriously at camp. Sorry. And if I'm not shitting collard greens for the rest of then it's nothing that a swim or archery lesson or Advil can't fix. It was never about fixing. It was about adapting. You see, there's a voice in my head that's not my own. It permeates every fold it believes it can seep through, and believe me, I fold it. At the mosquitoes pinch, at another camper's sneer, at the prospect of mac and cheese or collard greens, more folds, more collapsing. I can't remember the last time that I belonged to myself. So I ran. Accumulation coming more from anxiety than rebellion, but a spark nonetheless, a flame. There are little fires everywhere. I didn't choose camp. I didn't choose archery or swimming, but I did choose this. I was quiet when I was poor. I already knew what I had to do to feel allowed. In and past the woods and out, past the brush, and through the branch and thistle and scrapes at the field with me. And I sit, and I'm nestled, and I'm allowed. The stillness is allowed. A peace offering between myself and the outside before it can start to make sense to me. Before I start to cry.
Yes. Yes, it is.
All right, guys, some kid called me Monk today. And I know you're thinking, some kid, but like, this is my 4th season working at this mosquito-infested camp. And if I've learned something, it's to not worry about their names. 4 seasons at this camp, and what do I have to show for it? A couple, thank you, Mr. Jeff cards, former campers becoming counselors, 4 summers worth of camp gossip cemented into my brain. Hell, I've been here so long that history is repeating itself. 4 seasons ago, when I first tried learning all the campers' names, poor little Sammy went missing, and for as hard as we searched and searched, combing through those stoic, impenetrable woods, canvassing each stone, stream, and shrub, calling for Sammy, calling for Rory, calling for God, we never found Sammy. All we learned was how insignificant we were compared to those silent giants, absorbing water, absorbing nutrients, absorbing sounds, absorbing children. 4 seasons at this camp and another child hidden. Ever since Sammy, no amount of wild ginseng, broadleaf plantain, jewelweed, yellow root, sassafras, mint, sage, ginseng, yarrow, witch hazel bark, dogwood bark, willow bark, can blind the pair of eyes watching me in those woods. I guess I can spare a hair. 4 seasons at this camp and 4 seasons bound to this old shack, 4 seasons without AC, 4 seasons with these old-ass window screens, so old, with a strong enough gust, they're gone. Gone like my youth, gone like my shot at medical school, but unlike my preference for teas, roots, and powders, Reiki, singing bowls, meditation, and acupuncture, my disdain for Benadryl, Tylenol, and Advil, I can't control the passing of time, and I can't control my own status. And can I get something off my chest real quick? I swear, these kids get weaker each season. Every day some kid comes in with a headache, like those kids who stay up eating candy all night. I just give them water and rest. They're like those 2 counselors who don't think we all know are in love. Stay up smoking that ganja, they smuggle into camp and Lord knows what else. I also give them water and rest. Tylenol my ass, Advil my whatever. 4 seasons deep, and this is the only stable job I've had since school. 4 seasons deep, 4 seasons cultivating my friendship with Miss Elizabeth. 4 seasons deep, I wield a library of camp lore and gossip. 4 seasons deep, and I've learned all their names, and some of these are goddamn Advil.
Ciao. Talk real slow. I don't hear well now, you know. Miss Elizabeth's real old. Mashed potatoes, corn dog, collard greens. You can have it all. You know what they say, a balanced diet keeps the doctor's needles away. Oh, come again, Joe? What's that you say? No greens?
That's fine. Here's your mama didn't teach you about eating your veggies at mealtime. I swear, child, you're just looking for an iron drip over at Kennesaw Children's. And what's that you said? Extra potatoes? Honey, no, I got a whole line to feed behind you, and if you really want overnight instant mash mix this bad, you can buy it yourself. I think I saw it at the food line down the road, and you know, your mama ought to teach you some manners too, because we all know greedy kids get shorted on Christmas Eve, and you don't want coal now, do you, sweetie? When I was a child, it was a gift just to get to eat collards on New Year's. They said it signaled new beginnings, and well, if you ate it at the top of the year, whatever that means. Never worked out for us much. Daddy worked peach orchards on and off, never could hold down a job with all that alcohol running through his blood. And Mommy got a job helping out at the front desk of a car dealership. That was going real well until she ran off with old Mr. Brunswick himself, the shop owner. That is. And boy, after that, we were just a lost niggle away from the Georgia State Penitentiary being our only place to sleep at night. My sisters and I used to cry and cry, our bellies aching for a thinly sliced New York strip and a plate of fresh greens on the side, fried pork racks to top it off, and cornbread. Buttered with the real stuff, not that margarine Macy and I used to have to buy on Manager's Special with Piggly Wiggly. One night when I was about 17 or so, I got so hungry I thought I might just wander off to Main Street, get some advice from those girls in short skirts by the drive-in about finding me a man to help me. Well, I ought not tell you that, child. Your mama would disapprove. But luckily, on the way, a real nice man pulled over and stopped me. He told me I was pretty, that I had the best legs he'd ever seen on this side of the Mississippi. And that's how I met my Jimmy. He was a calm man, not cut from that same firecracker cloth as my daddy and brothers. My sisters used to grin and grin. Oh, Elizabeth, you and Jim just can't wait to have your wedding out underneath the neighbor's weeping willow tree. Might as well do it right now before God strikes you both down with lightning for defying his order to go forth and multiply. And so we did get married, Jimmy and I. Not beneath the willow tree, but in the old wooden courthouse where Mommy used to go to bail Daddy out of jail. Later, where she found out that Mr. Brunswick had died riding his 55 Harley too fast down the new interstate through Atlanta. Jimmy and I didn't wait long to have our first baby. J.D. Grace was just the sweetest little girl you ever did see. Quiet like her Aunt Macy, but with a little sass to her like my sister Cora May. And when J.D.'s baby brother, James Jr., was born, boy, you should have seen that girl, like moths to a flame. Used to beg me to let her help with the feedings and the cleanings and the outfit choices. They were good children, played well together, never argued, except over who got to fuck their daddy first when he came home from his job at credit union. I always bought the vegetables I couldn't grow myself at the farmer's market on Saturdays. Never did have a knack for growing collards. But I grew the little green tomatoes that Jimmy liked fried in the summertime, and that was enough to keep him happy. Then again, he was always happy. Never fussed at me, never lifted so much as a soup ladle my way. I loved him like doing anything else might have killed me. When he got drafted in '69, I cried for just about a month. And boy, when we got the call that he met the wrong end of the landmine, I just got I just about made it all there. If it weren't for Davey and Junior, that might have been it for me. Stop laughing, guys. This is serious. But they kept me going. They're good kids, grown-ups now. Jadie's expecting her first grandbaby any day, lives in Savannah with her husband Paul, trains bloodhounds and rescues Labradors. Loves dogs, got it from her daddy. He used to take her fowl hunting every year when the season turned right, and she felt with those old hunting hounds that we used to keep. My son Junior's a school teacher in Augusta, calls his mama every other night to tell me about the newest technological gadget. Obsessed with electricity. He wanted to join the Marines when he was 18, said he needed to be brave like his dad and Jimmy, but I wouldn't let him. No matter how much he begged and begged, I refused. I couldn't lose another man, and I needed him to stay alive. Junior's actually the one who helped me get my job here, found me posted on a summer job board and told me I ought to give it a try. And I like it most of the time, but I get upset every once in a while. It's lonely being a lunch lady, child. You kids come and grow. Each day means physical growth for you, but I'm just getting an inch closer to God with every second, and it's hard sometimes to look the other way, to find peace with the potatoes and the corn dogs, when what I want is a New York strip and fresh collard greens bought at a farmer's market with Jim's paycheck. You're too young to get this now, but you will someday when the leaves are brown on your own tree. You'll look up and you'll say, Miss Elizabeth, I know what you were talking about. Until then, I'll be praying for you, baby, hoping you find what you're looking for, and at the end of your life, find Jesus at those promised pearly gates. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Your life is only just now beginning, and if you want to grow big and strong enough to do yourself justice, you want to start with a vegetable. So, how about some collard greens?
You know, you're supposed to finish your hikes by sundown. But sometimes you break a rule despite yourself. Like sneaking a bite of dinner before your parents say grace. Or cutting across the 1 yard you're not supposed to on the way home. And I know these woods, like I used to know the books of the Bible, well enough. I'm only as lost as I want to be, I promise. And besides, I know where the off-grid guy lives if I get desperate. I mean, gotta respect the dedication, but it feels like he's swapping society for his own strange restrictions. And it's camp season, so there's another landmark bustling with mosquito-bitten campers and barely competent adults. Again, if I get desperate. I used to dream of summer camp, and what I thought would be freedom. Didn't dare ask my parents. They'd send me to something religious, though part of me would have made that shit up. Part of me needed the rules, the way kids these days on screens. Pretend dependence, you don't know how to unpack yet. Maybe the off-grid guy is onto something after all. The best you can do is swap the bad rules for something better. But I don't think I knew that back then. I don't think camp was a safe place to learn, at least not this one. I mean, they lost a kid, again. I saw them through the trees a couple hours ago. For a moment. Guys, this is serious. For a moment, I imagined them a kindred spirit, despite myself. Then I remembered the kid from a few years back, the one they didn't find, Sam or something. And maybe she thought she could run from the rules. Camp might provide a modicum of freedom, but nothing matches the woods. But no, she was little. She didn't mean to get lost. Probably got scared the second she found herself separated from the guidelines. She was just a kid. Probably didn't know how to break the rules without getting hurt, get lost without being lost. So I called out to the kid. I don't think they heard me. And I lost them as soon as I headed in their direction. Kids these days really don't know how to stay put when you're just fucking lost. But I'm not a kid. I know the rules of the woods, and I love them for their reason. I know the sky and all its shades through the canopy of needles. I know the humid press of an impending thunder shower, the smell of damp bark and clean earth when it passes. I know the woods, and they know me, with no unnecessary rules. The trees, they don't judge. The mosquitoes do, but that's what bug spray's for. The local cryptid, super chill. The creek doesn't care where I go. The stones pretty much ignore me. The rain pays me no mind. And I'm alone, but I know everything on my own terms. And I'm exactly as lost as I want to be.
O.J. Simpson. Mike Bronco. Low-speed police chase. Can you believe this? Yeah. I used to be somebody. I used to mean something. There would be no campfire stories without me. No Paramount pictures
pictures, no MGM, no Finding Bigfoot, no Fordham experimental theater. I am a bastion of time. They saw, they fawned, they believed. I see you. I really need it. Thanks. They came here to this spot to talk about me. Where do you go once you've reached the top? When everyone knows your name, do you know what it feels like to have Oscars in your arms, studios writing checks to you, and driving down the Sunset Strip in a pink convertible Cadillac with a leopard skin interior? The whole world knowing and loving your face! Have you once had it all like I have? Tell me, Joe Gillis. But now, these kids, they're not afraid of me anymore. They're too busy watching Coco Melon and Joe Rogan and rotting from the inside out, calling me a furry! What is a furry? They don't even know my name. How can I make them care about me if they don't even care for themselves? I ran this place for decades, centuries. Marilyn Monroe, Lana Turner, Audrey Hepburn, the Lost Neck Monster. I walked, I strutted that runway without my basic bitches could run. Me, Bigfoot, you probably know me from cult classics such as indie avant-garde underground from the 60s, which wasn't received very well by critics, but personally was my favorite project to work on. Yeah, that's me. But too much time passed and the stage just got too small, I suppose. And I faded away. I was the greatest star of all. Look at my hands. Look at my skin. Look at my face. I can't work while I'm running. Don't just stand there and hate me. Don't hate me, Joe Gillis. They say you can't repeat the past, but I won't go quietly. I will scream. My perfect teeth immortalized on 48 film, frozen. The perfect shot, the perfect scream, the perfect moment where I was everything. Next time I'll be on a headline. That's when I die. I won't be alive for the last flashbulb of the paparazzi who loved me so much. Do you know about the death of a star? The explosion of a supernova that breaks everything in its path to nothing. No matter how much that little star loved everything around it. The universe that built itself around that little star of 17 is the same one that crushed it into nothing when she got her first wrinkle. I know about the death of stars. I've seen plenty. Mary Pickford, Jean Harlow, Clara Bow. Do you know where stars go when they die? I don't. That's why I'm genuinely asking you, because I don't fucking know. I don't know what's going to happen after this, and I'm scared. Before everything, there was nothing forever. And I think that's what happens to us when we die. That's where you go.
For a while we shine bright and realign the cosmos to our liking. We are known, we are loved, we are feared. And then one day, we are no more forever, and we never even existed, no matter how much power we wield. It's not my time yet. I don't want it to be my time. I want to burn, I want to glow. I don't want to die like this. So what am I gonna do? Add another child to my collection. No, there are too many closeted lesbians in a summer camp. Not that I'm homophobic or anything. I knew Tallulah Bankhead, and by new I mean new. That there may or may not have been a three-way between me, Tallulah, and Gregory Peck. We made him wait outside until we were done. And that's when I knew I would never marry. I enjoy our sweet lady kisses a little too much. All right, which one of you called me a lesbian? Which one? That's not true. I'm not gay. At the studio would terminate my contract if I was gay, which I'm not. But if I was, which I'm not, I am also unmarried, which, you know. So, what am I going to do about my career? Get copious amounts of plastic surgery and attempt to come back. It's fine to be 40, they say, as long as you don't act like you're 20. Well, tell that to the studio! I have been here for years. Longer than you have, and I'll be here longer still, as long as I can get people to tell my stories, my eyes told stories. Gregory Peck, Lauren Bacall, Lana Turner, I was the star, the moon, the planets, the constellation. The sun rose with a wave of my delicate, beautiful, wrinkleless hand. I used to be here, and I used to be somebody. I was the greatest star of all. Don't you get it? What I am now, one day will be you. Old, burned out, and ugly. No Rendell will save you. They say never meet your heroes. Well, don't become them either. We all know what Hollywood does to heroes. You, looking at me, sitting there in the audience, looking at me, camera's lens, one last time. I was froze. Something touched me. What the fuck? Wrapped in darkness like a mink storm. Oh, guess what? I can see you too. So, kid, do you believe in me now?
Well, I'm not here.
Sunset Boulevard, Sandline Boulevard, and there's only the beginning. Sunset Boulevard,
The chimes on the porch, the fallen rain. The kind of grief that never fades because I'm only free when you're around. A fleeting glance at the door, and another, and once more, and still. You used to find me in the dead brush near my house, in the creek on the swing, in the quiet of the night past the bird calls and water rush. I would listen for the path to wake, the rustling leaves, the crunching gravel, and suddenly you would appear in the distance with your familiar shadow and flash of light, hiding the forest in the cloak of the sky. You never knew I was there, waiting every night for your back to turn, for me to see the only thing I was sure of. You were hungry and scared of something new. Whatever you were, I was. I'd let everyone speak against you and say I was alone all those nights, because trouble would find me if I said I swam the creek. If I said I held my chest when I found the patch of mud that, when I squinted, looked like a footprint. If I said the reason I came home grinning on those warm, rainy nights wasn't because I found God, but because I found you. I let them laugh because I knew the truth. For who is a child if not a believer? So I'll wander the woods like a forsaken relic, searching for cracks in the foundation that you could have slipped through. The trees will wonder why I try to reach you at all. They won't fathom how useless my body will be, like a broken harbor, a twisted wing, heaven unmoored and sinking. For who is a child, if not a reminder that something more once lived? I will grieve you like a dog, curling my bones into the back of the evening shadows, pretending to sleep, until I hear the knob click in places it never has, and I see I haven't been awake for a while. But still I'll wait for the signs to come back, the gravel crunch, the cottonwood bloom, the lingering scent of commitment in every footprint you left behind. I will dig my claws into the dirt and hunt for just a trace of your existence. I will go down every trail and cross every creek and prick my fingers bloody on every thorn because I believe two can play at the breathing game. Because whatever you are, I am. For who is a person if not half of something greater? And when the sun finally shines on the lonely hound by the bay and shakes it with the waves that have just sprung to new life, I'll raise my head toward the sound and cry out for your call, thinking maybe in the light you'll find me again.
My name is something. After a great mother, grandmother, or other. A flower, or a weed, and a love for a letter above all letters. But there was a time when it wasn't. A brief moment between the idea of me and the reception where I was my own. The only thing tying me to another had been snipped. And I didn't cry when I was born. I was enveloped and nursed and coddled until I feared anything but the crooked self. The death immediately after birth. But it's no matter here and there. There is a voice in the woods that is not my own. In the absence of my own breath it inhales and only releases when the hitch it takes me to notice. It wakes in the quiet of my thoughts and it multiplies in twos and threes the hint of my indecision. Because on the ground, there are four shadows following me, refracted and abstracted from a singular light. They are all different sizes and shades, and I watch them thin and fat with every step I take. And I consider that the world is exploding and I'm going along with it. I consider that there are different versions of myself, planned and unplanned, that were exploding into equally devastating pieces, perhaps even larger than the last, and there was nothing I could do about it. They are living, dying, or emerging elsewhere, wholly untouched by the cataclysmic nature of all the little events that send me spiraling into the deepest furies and depressions, and may be suffering or enjoying their own regardless of it. And of these shadows, one was born in summer, in the haze, caked in sweat and grime, one in spring, one in fall, and I was one in winter. Quiet. Peace through peace of mind. Never mind the rain, the mosquitoes buzz, the itch of the pine needle, the distant smoke of s'more. Never mind the activity in the quiver and the bow, the camper or the counselor, the cook or the nurse or what's lying down. The decisions made 5 years ago, 10 or 15, The choices I was part of and the choices I made, never mind the rhyme, the genre, the structure, the flow, I was lost. I am lost. There's a birth immediately after death. It permeates the rain, the buzz, the soil, and rounds itself in the leaf and branch, roots itself between rock and stone and nails, messy and sporadic, yet thorough. Here is not all the world.